Hi, I'm Ed Kimber, and today I'm going to talk to you about FIKA. It's an amazing Swedish social event where you have a break with coffee and cake, and the cakes are utterly delicious. It's more than just a cup of coffee, it's about connecting with your friends and family, and we're going to make some incredible dishes. We're going to serve these, which I made literally an hour and a half ago. So these are my favourite thing in the world. So these are Swedish cinnamon buns, and they are utterly delicious, I promise you. The two doughs for cinnamon buns and semla are incredibly similar, they're just ever so slightly differently enriched. So they're both basic bread doughs with extras in there. So to start off with, we're gonna add some plain flour and some bread flour, some ground cardamom and some yeast. Then what we're going to do to add to that is a little bit of sugar. They're not massively sweet buns because there's a lot of sugar elsewhere in the recipe, so you don't need tons. And then we're going to add some nice soft butter, and then a little bit of milk, and then 2 eggs. This will knead for about 10 minutes and it will become really nice and smooth and elastic. So all we're going to do, just pat that down, just roll this out into a nice big rectangle. So what we're going to do is make a really simple kind of classic filling. So it's just unsalted butter. Oh, it's a little firm, so you need to have some arm power. And then we're going to add to that some brown sugar and some cinnamon. So it is a cinnamon dough, so it does have quite a lot of cinnamon in there. So it's about 3 tablespoons. If you want to spread that over that half there, it doesn't have to be perfect at all. We're going to fold it over like that. Try and cover all of the cinnamon mixture. I'm going to roll it out slightly more just because it's a little thick. So all we're going to do is use a pizza cutter to cut thin strips of the dough. Thin it out and then twist it like this. So opposite direction, so you get a nice spiral to it. And then again, around, and then over and under. And that gives you what I think is the kind of truly classic look to it. These would go onto a tray, and then they would sit for about 30 to 40 minutes until they're nice and puffy. They're not going to double in size at this point, partly because of the way we've knotted them. And then they would go in the oven for about 20-25 minutes until they're really nice and golden brown. Now, you can at that point stop and leave them as they are, or you can do the traditional way of finishing them, which is with sugar syrup. Equal parts sugar and water, bring it to the boil, and let it simmer for a couple of minutes, and then as they're freshly out of the oven, just brush them over, and basically just makes them a little stickier and a little sweeter, and the texture's nicer. So it is a really nice way of just finishing them off.